Huh.
Alright, I got something I've been wanting to mess with here and try. I've been seeing, I don't know why I feel like I'm yelling. I'm going to identify myself here. I'm Dane from Jonah Guitar. I've been seeing a couple different things on YouTube about using super glue as a finish. This is Tight Bond brand, Instant Bond wood adhesive. It's medium viscosity. I've had this piece of walnut hanging out for a while. It's going to be a neck someday. It may actually be a couple of veneer strips and a neck I have coming up very soon. It could just be a neck all by itself, but I don't think it might be too heavy on its own. And I was considering sharpening my scraper. I just finished shooting another little bit of video where I said I didn't want to take the time to sharpen my plane, so I didn't do that, and I couldn't complete that video really. So anyway, I might grab another scraper here. That doesn't have much of an edge on it either. I was going to just take a sander to it, and I thought, why make noise if I don't have to make noise? So this scraper is not, it's not smoothing it out, it's just not, it's not taking any scratches out because I'm putting them in with the scraper. But for the purposes of seeing what this finish will do, I think that's probably okay. Now, let me just say this, the YouTube videos I've seen where they're using super glue as a finish, trying to think of who okay, Big D Guitars. He has a great channel. Check that guy out if you haven't already. You probably have, and you've probably seen his video on this. So he used, I'm trying to think of what his brand was. It something like Pro Boost or something. I've got another brand sitting here that's made by DAP that's called Rapid Fuse, but I haven't even used it as super glue at this point, so I don't know anything about it. And the other person that did a video was Susie Gardner, and she used just some old super glue she had laying around. She said that it was old and that it didn't really dry well. The one thing they both had, I think Susie had it. I know Big D did. He has an accelerator that is more forgiving. I'll use that word. More forgiving than this Tight Bond super glue accelerator. This will boil if you have puddles on the surface and you hit it with the accelerator, it will boil. So I probably won't use any accelerator, although I might, just to see what the reaction is in this case. So I've got a piece of paper towel and I've got medium viscosity super glue, and it's not old. It's been around a little while, but my shop doesn't freeze and I don't leave the cap open and all that kind of good stuff, so it might be right about time that it needs to be replaced, but that's kind of why I'm going to burn it up here anyway. So I don't plan on doing like a huge section of this thing because I just want to see how it reacts, how it actually, you know, rubs out, all that stuff. This is extremely potent. I should go find my respirator since it's too cold to open my doors. I don't want to breathe this, and it's already getting to my eyeballs. So I'm going to Just do this much of it. I'm going to do just a little bit more, and I'm going to have to leave. So we'll let that just dry on its own. I'll get a little ventilation in here, and see if I can find my respirator for the rest of this. All right. I'm going to turn you off and get some air before I hurt myself. All right. Excuse me. All right, I'm back for the second coat, and you can hear it, but I got my respirator on, and so I did actually. It sat for quite a while, and I did actually spritz some of the activator on it, and it didn't bubble. You have kind of a deep line here, and I think that maybe it turned it a little white right there, but good information for the future. Okay, so I'm gonna stepped away a little bit from the. I didn't tighten the camera up. Stepped away a little bit from the work area there, so I'm not inhaling that stuff. But you might have noticed it seemed, since I had shot accelerator on the surface there, it didn't let me play around with it nearly as long as the first coat. So there would be a good reason not to use accelerator, at least not this type. On this type of super glue. And as you also saw, there was a couple pieces of paper towel that kind of got stuck in there. Also on the edges where I tried to go back and move some of the material over, it didn't really want to go over there, so I added some. So on a whole guitar, that might be a little tedious, trying to make sure you're getting even coverage. But we'll let this dry up without the aid of super glue, and probably actually be tomorrow night before we get another coat on that, so it'll have plenty of time to dry. Maybe hit it with a little 320 or higher, maybe some 400, smooth out a little bit, and then add another coat and see what that looks like. Well, hello. So regarding the walnut super glue finish, I went ahead and I did a third coat this morning on my way out to work. And so I'm just going to take some 320 grit and kind of level it out. I'll show you. I'll kind of zoom you in close. It's on there pretty. Actually, kind of put a heavier coat on than I had planned on. I just had a little extra, so I kind of rubbed it in there and just smeared back up the log here to kind of get rid of some of it. But so it's on there. It was on there fairly heavy, and it did float out kind of, from that. But there's still some ridges and things from the paper towel. So I'm just going to hit it real quick with the 320. Probably put another coat on. Maybe lightly sand it with something finer than that, and do another coat. So I've got 3. That would be a total of 5 coats, and then I'll sand it back and polish it up. I am heading out on a trip, so I don't know. I'm not going to have time to do that tomorrow. So tonight you're going to see sanding and one more coat, and then yeah, I won't get to work on it for a couple weeks probably. So it won't make any difference to you because you'll see the video on one shot. So it'll just be like magic. I'm not sure you can see that. You get in the right angle, you can see the lines from the paper towel. As I went back and forth with it. So I'm just going to try to do this. This is kind of a no-load paper. We'll see how well that works. If I were doing something that I was worried about, I'd probably, I'd either for sure have a no-load or I'd find some wet and dry. And I'm going to do that. I don't know how this is going to go as far as loading up goes. Doesn't look like it's doing too bad, actually. No, it's not loading up. Good. I got some 220, I think I'm going to hit it with a 220 just to get it down below these ridges real quick. All right. These started out as discs. I had some 6-inch automotive paper, but they didn't have adhesive on them. So I just use them like, cut them up and use them like. This seems incredibly hard, much harder than lacquer, and then also much thinner than I would be required with lacquer. You know, so wow. I want to get a little more build on. I was going to say I could probably just about sand this all out and then buff it, but I want to get a little more build on it than what I have right now. Of course, sanding out something that's flat is much less of a challenge than sanding out a guitar. So it would be to my benefit to, you know, see how this works with a little heavier, you know, build. All right, so we are sanded. I'm going to do another coat, which will be coat 4.
That's all it took. Okay.
I got lines back in it from the paper. I wish there was a way to put it on smoother.
It didn't take long to sand it out.